How's it going, everyone? It's Kevin from Balls to You, and this is going to be a closer look at the blackhead to hypo clutch. Yeah, this one's really thrown me, as I said earlier on in the other video. I still don't quite, I'm not 100% convinced what's cracking off with it, but I'm going to run through what I do know and explain it to you as best as I can. So, they've all shed out, well, bar one. This is what my het hypos come out looking like, my normal het hypos. They have a little bit of a head stamp, as you can see, almost like an arrowhead on top. Again, wacky pattern, as I said before. This is one of my typical normal het hypos, what they tend to look like. Okay, so we had two of those. So obviously this is the one I've just showed you, and this is the other one. Again, similar head stamp, or the same head stamp. Again, two normal 100% het orange ghost or het hypos. Okay, so let's look at what a visual normal hypo looks like, which is here. I still love hatching normal hypos. I mean, these, when they start to colour up, they go awesome. Stay there, guys. Okay, so basically the hypo gets rid of the black pigmentation, or and sort of throws in this sort of greeny, purpley hue to it. Again, you can see the head stamp as well. Mom's also got that. I've got snakes disappearing on me. So, with the hypos, as you can see, they have more of a greeny look to them, or a purpley look. Okay, so compared to the normal, you can see the difference. I absolutely love the hypo gene. Okay, so there we have a normal het and a hypo, or a orange ghost. Okay, so let me show you what a blackhead hypo looks like. So here is a blackhead hypo. Now you can certainly see the difference. So if you can see the difference now, I can't wait till this little girl is around about 500-600 grams. Love what the blackhead's done with the hypo gene, or the hypo's done with the blackhead gene, whichever way you want to look at it. This is a little girl. She'll be stopping here. This one's a little male, but again, you can see exactly the influence of the blackhead and the hypo. Okay, so they're the visuals. Now, let's look at the ones that are really throwing me out. Okay, these two, obviously shed out. These two I've labelled as blackheads. However, I'm not 100% convinced. I don't even know what they are. They look completely different to the normal hets, as I've showed you. They don't carry the same characteristics as the normal hets. The pattern, as you can see, is trying to be very banded. There's not much of a sort of black back, which most blackheads or can carry. Now I do know the hypo gene will create a different look to the blackheads. However, they look nothing like Dad. When I say they look nothing like Dad, I mean that in a sense of Daddy's very dark. He just doesn't carry the same characteristics as these. So I don't quite understand what's cracking off. Let me open these guys, and they're very bright. You know, I mean, the black's black, as you can see, but they almost look enchy like. They don't have enchy eyes, so I know they're not enchy because in the beginning the enchy GHI was in there with this female. This guy's head doesn't look that dark either. I mean, it could get darker. And then this little dude is a lot darker in the blacks, and the head is a lot darker, but it's very bright. So we've got this eye stripe. Come on, dude. We've got this eye stripe, which is really dark, really bright. Some strange head stamp, which I'll just put that down to it being a smaller baby. Because this little guy does have a head stamp as well, but the eye stripe isn't on par with this one. I know it's a bit difficult for the camera to show you guys, but again, the pattern is really weird. I really like the look of this guy. So I don't quite know what's happening here. If I get a normal out, there is one still left to shed, and I think that he's going to take his time. I'll try and get these in frame. So I don't know. I really don't quite understand this one. I know it's difficult to see. This one is a lot lighter than this one. This one in the middle is just a straight normal het hypo. This one here doesn't really carry the same markings as the normal het hypo. So again, I just don't know what's cracking off. I mean, I'm pretty confident my blackhead doesn't carry the red gene, but there's different variations. So is it that they are blackheads, as in these two are blackheads, but they just take a bit of time to colour up and show up, or is it that they are just different types of normal heads? And this one here is really interesting. I really love. I mean, hopefully you can see the difference. This one's a lot brighter. The blacks are a lot darker, just sharper pattern. So I'm convinced this one is definitely a blackhead. So there we have it, guys. Hope this makes sense. Hope I haven't rambled too much. Like I said, I just wanted to try and show you guys this clutch as they all run off. There is the blackhead hypo on top, which is fantastic. I've proved the dad out, which makes your breeding plans or your breeding projects a hell of a lot easier. Because if I hadn't proved his dad out, guess what? I'm sort of breeding a blackhead or an animal that's carrying another gene, and then later on down your projects, you're going to start throwing out hypos, and you're going to be scratching your head. So I always advise people, if you've got something that's a pos het, always try and prove it out one way or another. At least then you know what you're dealing with. Okay, these guys are going crazy. So my advice, if you've got something that's a pos het, try and prove it out, guys. to stop any confusion later on. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Hope you're all well. I really do love the support you guys show and the positivity. It's fantastic. Hope you're all okay, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.